In this lecture, we explore story points, a widely used yet optional tool in Scrum. Story points serve as a relative qualitative measure of effort, complexity, and uncertainty associated with completing a task. It's essential to emphasize that story points are not directly related to priority, cost, time, relevance, or any other measurable variable. Instead, they are a tool for fostering alignment within the team about the relative workload of different tasks, enabling more effective collaboration and planning. The process of assigning story points begins with establishing a reference story, a simple and uncontroversial task that the team agrees upon as a baseline. Choosing a straightforward reference story ensures clarity and avoids unnecessary debates. For example, in our MOOC platform, the team might decide on a very nimble user story such as a student, I want to reset my password so that I can regain access to my account. This story is clear, has minimal complexity, and involves predictable effort. The team agrees to assign this reference story 1 point, and all subsequent estimates will use this as a comparison point. Once the reference story is set, the product owner or the customer introduces another story from the backlog. For instance, they might present, as a student, I want to register using my email so that I can access the platform. The team listens to the story and engages in a Q&A session to clarify any uncertainties. Questions might include, will the registration process require email verification? Does it need to check for duplicated registrations? Are we integrated with third-party logins in this task? The customer may or may not have the answer, and that's part of the game. After addressing these questions, each team member independently assigns story points. This can be done using physical cards known as Scrum Poker or a digital tool. But it's crucial that no one announces their estimate aloud. Speaking even one number risks triggering the anchoring effect, a cognitive bias where other estimates are influenced by the first number mentioned, even if it is arbitrary. Instead, all estimates are revealed simultaneously to maintain impartiality. If the estimates vary widely, for example, some team members assign a 2, while others suggest a 10, the Scrum Master facilitates a discussion. The team hears from the members with the highest and the lowest estimates to understand their reasoning. A developer who voted 10 might highlight the complexity of email verification, while another who voted 2 might point out that the backend functionality is relatively standard and straightforward. The anchoring in the reasoning is that 10 means 10 times the reference story, while 2 means twice. After this discussion, the team may revote. If consensus is still not reached, the Scrum Master may decide to have a third round, which may be the case for the first story of a team, or to step in to finalize the story points, ensuring progress while maintaining alignment, using different metrics that may be the most frequent value or something close to the mean. For example, the team might ultimately agree that the registration story is more complex than the password reset story, but not significantly so, assigning it 3 points. This consensus is critical. It marks a shared commitment to treating these story points as the standard for all future comparisons, even though the developer who will take care of that story originally put 10. The process continues with other user stories. For instance, as a teacher, I want to upload video lectures so that my students can access the content I create. The team compares this task to reference story and the previously estimated stories, considering questions like, will it involve handling multiple file formats? What happens if upload fails? Based on this discussion, the team might assign this story 5 points, reflecting greater complexities and effort compared to the reference story, without any reference to the other story considered, which would make the system too complex. The purpose of this process is to create alignment, not precision. Regardless of their initial estimates, every team member commits to treating the collectively decided story points as the standard. This shared understanding helps the team estimate workload consistently, prioritize effectively, and work cohesively during sprint planning. It is also important to emphasize that story points are not tied to priority or costs. For instance, a story with 8 points might be less urgent than a 2-point story, if the latter delivers higher business value. Similarly, story points are not a direct estimate of time. A high-point story might take less actual time than a low-point story if it involves routine but effort-intensive work, maybe done by somebody who has got a lot of experience in the task. By focusing on relative complexity, story points enable teams to have meaningful conversations about their workload and ensure alignment on expectations. In the context of our MOOC platform, this process ensures that tasks like user registration, video uploads, and password resets are understood and planned effectively. The alignment achieved through this process strengthens the team's ability to collaborate and adapt, ensuring they deliver value iteratively and efficiently.